Greetings, Dieselfunketeers. How you guys doing? Tim Fielder back with the latest live drawing with Tim Fielder, Dieselfunk Dispatch. Having fun here doing my thing. I am back once again in the PM hour. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me. It is an interesting task to do this every day. Let's see, we got some folks on Instagram. We're going to go CM Fitzhugh. Hello, CM Fitzhugh. I don't know who that is, but a pleasure. Hector Lincoln, same thing. A pleasure to meet you as well. I want to go here. Let's see what is happening. You guys should be able to very soon see my desktop. There we go. All right, so you see my graphics and stuffers and all that ingots and all that stuffers. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to be golden. Let's see. Let's go here to straight ahead. There we go. Straight ahead is, oh, what's going on there? That is weird. Okay, I see what's going on. You actually have to select this stuff here. There we go. Ah, yes. I have to get that camera. Sorry about that, guys. That was a little weird. One of the things I will adjust here, because I see my folks here, my folks here on thingy here is not working. I don't know why that's all of a sudden acting weird. How did that not work right? That is so weird. But we're going to go back to our, okay, all right, we'll stick with this right here for now. All right. So Tim Fielder, Dieselfunk Dispatch. Um, Live drawing. I had fun drawing very quick, a kind of abbreviated event last night because I was actually drawing image from Alien, just because I was in the spirit, I was in the alien mood. I actually liked Alien last night, Alien Earth. So it was very well done. And Noah Hawley seems to have maybe, still just 2 episodes yet, but he seems to have maybe caught the spirit, and that's an okay thing. That is an all right thing. All right. So here's what I'm going to do today. Let's go here. Oh, actually, there's an Alien Earth image. Yeah. It's kind of small, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. You guys will see that when you get the opportunity. I want to go here. I think I'll open up Matty Cockpit for now. And also, one of the things I want to do is go back to Photoshop here because I want to do some breakdowns for the comic today. I just spoke with my agent today, and I want to turn in some breakdowns this week. I figured the comic will probably end up being about 150 pages. I'd gone through my breakdowns here, you guys remember, and I was fairly happy with that. Let's see here. I'm going to close the. Let's go back here. Let's see. All right, there we go. Go back up here, close that out because I don't really need that. And one of the things I haven't done is I have not adequately lettered, placed where my lettering would be on the earlier comic pages. Let me refresh this here. And I felt like it would be useful and helpful to folks to actually see what's rocking, what's rolling with the comic, and how I've gone through multiple things here. You can see here I'm actually on page 38. So it's about 8:56. I'm going to try my best not to go too long. I don't see myself going longer than 10:30. And again, I understand some folks like, yo, why is this guy going so late at night? It's because I work all day, all my stuff, and do that. Now, I will let you guys know that I am strongly considering doing a PM session. Hello, Uncle Dad 1980. The volume is low. Okay. Watch this. I'm gonna test this. I mean, me. Is that good? Oh, get a little echo there. Is that better? And I'm getting echo because I probably have Lurking Dude. Hello. Hey, I know Lurking Dude. I smell some DNA walking around. Some real DNA walking. Hello, Lurking Dude. So pleasure to see you. Uncle Dad 1980. Let me know if the volume is really low. I tried to fix it, but let me see. Let's go here. Don't know what's happening now. Okay, we're gonna close that guy up there and go here back to live streaming. I'm gonna turn off the volume. Oops. Hang on. And by the way, I am well aware. Oh, it's not. Okay, there we go. I am well aware that my audio is not the greatest. Don't worry. As soon as I get my next check, I will be buying a new headphone because it's not. I do not have the greatest headphone in the world. I know that. Okay, so the volume is working. Thank you, Lurking Dude. How you doing? I won't bust you, Lurking Dude. I love you. You know that, right? Anyway, I don't want to. All right. So, everything. Oh, everything. Things aren't. Everything's aren't. Hello. Let's see here. CM Fitzhugh. Thank you so much for doing this. All right. So, breakdowns. Now, what are breakdowns? Breakdowns, comic book breakdowns, is where you are actually taking a script, a screenplay. Let's zoom into this. And it's where you're taking your script and you're breaking things down into images, right? So let's zoom in here. I don't know if I can zoom in. I mean, eventually I'm gonna, and I would ask folks here if you guys know of a feature that can allow me to zoom in on something. I've seen them, but I don't know how to do that. I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyway, so I have my things here. Page 5 done. Well, that's done whenever I finish the page. I say done. Visitor words and walkers come to him. The comment. The comment. Everybody was talking of it. Even the president, as he entered, smiled patronizingly at him and asked, "Well, Jim, are you scared?" "No," said the messenger shortly. Right? So this is both the written narration, spoken dialogue, and all of this will be provided. I'm basically mining W.B. Du Bois's The Comet for the information to tell. So, you know what? Let me also take a moment here. So this is Viz Comes where I use when I'm doing a little AI here. Let's go to the Comet. W.E.B. Du Bois. What is the Comet? Because a lot of people, like, what is the Comet? Comet is a book, a short story done in a book by W.E.B. Du Bois. And Du Bois was a black intellectual, co-founder of NAACP. And, what can I say? The Comet was a pretty post-apocalyptic story. A bunch of dead bodies, decimated dystopian cities, that kind of thing. And so W.E.B. Du Bois released The Comet in a short story, but a collection called Dark Water. And in fact, as you can see here, there's even video of me here talking about The Comet and my adaptation. Let's go to this for 1 second. And you can see, so I've been working on this for a little bit. And this is, what's it, WKAR PBS had done a story of me and my work. Julian Chambliss is one of my good friends at Michigan State University had asked me to, oh, there I am, about 20 pounds heavier. Don't worry, man. I'm working on the weight. I'm doing my 5 miles a day with my orange shoes. I gotta buy some new ones of those. So I've been working on the Comet for a while here, right? So there we go. I remember that guy. That guy gave me a $2 bill. Anyway, enough of that. Let me get back to the Comet here. We've seen enough of that stuff. And by the way, for you folks who are interested, my company is Dieselfunk.com. I am known, my name is Tim Fielder. I'm a visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist. I'm known for the book Infinitum and Afrofuturist Tale. This guy here, I'm also known for a book called Maddie's Rocket. This is volume 1, presently working on volume 2 and 3. And of course, this book here, my latest book, The Graphic History of Hip Hop, written by Dr. Walter Grayson, the endowed chair. I know he's tired of me saying it, but guess what, Walter? I don't care. You will always be the endowed chair to me. All right, so there we go. Let's go back now to our breakdown. So what we're gonna do now, just as we had done before. Let's go back to. I want to shorten this up a little bit. Okay. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna minimize this guy here. And by the way, very shortly, I should have my PC. I have a PC, a Surface Studio Pro, that runs, and it runs Unreal and eventually 3ds Max. I've been using 3ds Max for 25, 30 years. I'm a mediocre user of 3ds Max, meaning that you won't see me doing anything as tight as Secret Level or Love, Death, and Robots in terms of 3D output. But now you don't even need that. I'm a pretty good modeler. I am horrible as an animator, at least so I've been told. But now with the tools out there, you don't really need that. Anyway, enough of that. So back to Photoshop. And just a quick review. So you can see here where I have done my breakdowns, right? And those breakdowns showcase lettering. And I took the lettering from this. See? So I take the lettering from that. Now the reason why I'm doing this is a short, quick way for me to do placement of letters. You'll notice as I'm moving the notes feature, the lettering is reforming and reshaping to its specific size. Here, let's go here. All right, let me check here, see what's happening. Sean Martinborough. Hello, brother. How you doing? Sean Martinborough is arguably one of the greatest comic book artists, contemporary practitioners of the comic art, the sequential art form, and is an absolute master of blacks and whites in terms of spotting your inks. It just, the only person who I know who comes close to that, where the stuff doesn't look forced, is Bern Hergott. That Sean is like that. He's still just the absolute demon when it comes to that type of stuff. So I would say I would suggest you guys. He has a How to Do Noir comics. Also did Thief of Thieves with oh God, forgive me, which company? The Image coming on Robert Kirkman's company. Sorry, so sorry, Sean. But he did that, and now working on. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say it. The greatest book he has ever done is not yet finished, but he is working on it. It is called The Heavy. The Heavy is coming out from Megascope. One day, I don't know when, that ain't my business, but it is the greatest thing Sean has ever done. It is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It's a all right. I won't go into it anyway. It's a masterpiece. Anyway, enough of that. So let's go back here. Let's start doing our breakdowns again. Alrighty, let's go here. All right, looks like Instagram is going good. LinkedIn is going good. Facebook Live is going good. I think we had it streamed also and shared to the Tim Fielder site, the Afrofuturism 2.0 site, as well as the Graphic History Hip Hop site. When I do this podcast, my objective is to I'm serving multiple purposes. I'm promoting my own work, showing my own work process with Dieselfunk Studios, but I'm also doing that with the Graphic History of Hip Hop. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do it this week, but very soon, within the next few days, I'm going to really pick up my pace on the Graphic History of Hip Hop Volume 2, because I got to get that in to Joe Schmidt, to the Civics for All Comics group. Don't worry, I got you covered, man. Feeling good with my 5 hours a day, 5 miles walking per day, so my health is dramatically better, so I think I can keep up the pace. All right, enough of that. All right, so again, you guys can see here how I'm popping through, right, the lettering. Again, the breakdowns don't have to be tight. They do not have to be tight. They just need to be clear enough, right? So we got that pretty covered. But the one thing I don't have, I do not have the lettering kind of placements for the first part of the book. So you guys are going to see now the first part of the book. So here we go. We're going to go right about there, baby. Right about there, baby. So we're going to go here. That's a heck of a thumbnail, huh? All right, so we're going to go here to the comic. All right, now you can see a lot of my photo reference. Very quick thing here. One of the things I've done is in the past, as I've done my visual research on how I put this project together, I'd actually done a audio book, kind of an audio storytelling of the comic. And Brother Ahmed Betts, who plays Keller and Beck, provided the voiceover, the reading of the book. And so grateful for what he did. And these are actually shots from the comic, that kind of audio book. Now, one of the things I will be doing, you should know, some of these images I will be using because the layout was great. So I will be using some of those images. Just change the framing just slightly. So no need to remake the wheel. All right, enough of that. Let's go here to find the pages that I've done. Now, you can see here, I've been doing breakdowns for a while. Some of the breakdowns are tight, some of them are very, very loose. But again, as I'm doing my breakdowns, I want to try. So you can see here, some of these breakdowns are like really loose. Really loose. But these are some of the pages that have already been done. So let's, all right, where? All right, hang on one second, guys. I'm trying to find. All right, so this is it here. So these are some of the pages from the comic there. So this is actually beginning as a page before that. If I could just hang on, baby. All right, here we go. So we got this one, right? That's pretty good. And I actually already had my lettering in there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this over here. And I'm just start dragging the stuff, dragging and dropping it in there. We'll go right here. So we're going to say this is, there we go. There we go. There we go. Right there. So here will be page 1. That's kind of big. That's okay. It's all right. It's all right. And then 1. And then because, there's something, watch this page here. See that? I got to say, I love that. I love this page. I think that the idea of it starting with that double page spread is just something about it I love. But don't worry, I'll put it in there anyway. So we got that. Then we go to this one. All right, let's hit enter here. Okay, now we're going to go to, yeah, and I'll resize all this stuff here. All right, now, I also had this one here. There we go. And I'll probably add more dialogue to this stuff as I go along, because some of this stuff really doesn't need to be, as sparse. And literally the person who wrote this story is W.B. Du Bois, so why bother to remove his writing when you can use his writing? That's what it's for. Let's see here. I'm getting a call. Oh, believe it or not, Sean Martin, bro, I'm getting a call from John Jennings. I can't talk with him right now. You got to turn that off there. I'll call him back later. Let's see here. Yes, Ahmed Best from Star Wars. I consider Ahmed a very good friend. Uh, a brilliant actor. Like before he did Star Wars with Jar Jar Binks. I mean, this guy's incredible dancer and stomp. He did that for years, and then went on into doing, obviously Star Wars. He told me some stuff. with Sam Jackson and King Charles. Well, now King Charles. That's just insane, But Ahmed is an awesome actor, and a lot of people realize this guy's one brilliant martial artist, and also one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. So I love Ahmed. Ahmed's a good man, and also a practicing Afrofuturist with his Afro rhythms game that he did with Lonnie Brooks out there out the West Coast. So it's a pretty good thing. All right, let's see, y'all. So we got this here. Okay. Now, so we have that. Now, some of this art style may change a little bit. It may change a little bit. And the reason why it may change because there's some things, new the tools that I'll be using. But like I said, the lettering is mostly there. All right, it's going to go here. Now we're going to push this guy here. Okay, there we go. Also, the comment, the way I'm going to be telling the story is to use a bit of, like I said, I'll be using some narration, I'll be using some spoken dialogue, and it'll be a kind of a bouncing back and forth. If I change this stuff, y'all gonna have to rock with me on that. So just, ease up. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to select a number of these, but I'm going to just try to select it in order. And some of these images may not be clear as I would like, but it's okay because I can clean a lot of this stuff up here. And you can see here as I got further into it before the health issue started, there were I kind of got installed a little bit, but we're back on it now. All right, watch this. Drag, drop. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, we're good. Okay, let's move this up here. Now, the cool thing about Photoshop is that you have the ability to move your interface over. I don't know if it's going to work. There we go. Nah, it doesn't really work so well. But you can kind of reform the interface, which is a pretty good thing. Right here, I think I'll turn off properties. I don't really need that right now. Yeah, what I need is layers to go all the way up. Okay, so let's see here. We want to take this here. I'm going to grab that top layer, and now I'm going to grab the bottom layer, but I'm going to do it by hitting holding down shift and then selecting it, right? So I can select one at a time, right? But if I hold down shift, it'll select everything in between, right? So click, I can go to wherever I want, hold down shift, and that will select everything in that layer. Now, if I hit Command T, I can actually drop that down. See, I'm dropping that down a little bit there. Let's go right about there, Bubba. Yeah. And it ain't gonna be perfect. Ah, close enough. Okay, that's good. Close enough. Yes. So I'm gonna hit enter now. So what I've done now is resize all of these particular images. So those are all now resized. So what I'll do, and by the way, you see the little eyeball swatch here. You can click them off one at a time, but if you hold down the button and just drag over that, that'll turn all these things off pretty much in unison. All right, so I'm gonna have to tweak that one there maybe a little bit, but you'll see what I'm gonna do in just a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that one off. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna delete that one because no need to keep it, but I will keep this one. So here we go. So now what are we gonna do, baby? We're gonna go here. I'm gonna right click over that, and I'm going to go to rasterize layer. Now, when I rasterize layer, what it does, I don't know if you guys can see this. These swatches here, they're little square boxes next to this swatch. What that means is that that layer is a kind of a smart layer. It's like, for example, if I double click on that swatch, see what comes up? It's a protected layer. It's a protected layer, meaning that you can edit but not directly edit. I can turn that off right now, right? But once I rasterize a layer, if I double click on it, nothing comes up. It's just a regular layer because that layer has been rasterized, been turned into pure pixel image. All right, enough of that. Again, I do have my layouts that I do in, let's do Command Shift J. So that literally turns that image into a sort of, how would I say, it turns it into a separate layer. So if I turn that off, there we go. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. Oh, my poor eyes. That's what happens when you you sit on your drawing glasses. Know what I want for my birthday? So we're going to go here. Okay, I'm going to do Command Shift I, then backspace. Now, what that has done is anything outside of that selection has been deleted. But the cool thing is, it's actually on a separate layer. So we're going to say here, this is the layers were pretty much already named. We have some missing pages in between there, but we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, so here we're going to take this layer and I'm going to put it right here. That will actually be frame. That will be page 2. And that's all right. I don't mind that. In fact, I'm going to hold shift it just to resize it. I don't need to be perfect. I just need it to be good enough. Okay? All right, so we got that, right? Now, I need this one here. This layer here will be the first page. I just think the book needs to have like that first image be powerful. That's what it really needs. Now with the drawings that I have here, the way this stuff is laid out is that it's a certain size that I have in Clip Studio Paint, and as I work on this over the weeks, you guys will see how I'm laying it out. Okay, here. This is page 3. Oops. Probably should select page 3. What do you think? Just for kicks. Just for kicks. Okay, that's good. And even though I have this out here, I kind of like that. I'm going to leave that the way that is. Okay, great. Page 4. Whoops. Again, want to make sure we select the layer we want. Okay, that's pretty good. So we've got lettering. So if I move in here, So this is page one. So you want to really emphasize the size and the scope of that comic, right? So that it's like boom, it's like booking through space. Then you cut to here. He stood a moment on the steps of the bank, watching the human river that swirled down Broadway. Now, check this out. I'm pulling all of that from from the script, right? Pulling everything from the script. Hold on, did I just get a notification? I don't know if anyone is looking here. Oh my God. All righty, hang on. Hang on. And click here. All right, I think, yep, everything seems to be shaking and a baking, huh? Make sure, I just want to make sure I keep an eye on what's happening here. I think I'll move this over as well. Again, guys, TikTok, just, it works with a PC, but it does not work as nicely with a Mac. But don't worry, I'm going to take care of this TikTok issue eventually. YouTube, hello everyone here. No one's chatting from what I can see. I'm not getting anything through chat, nor YouTube. Now, I'm still going to continue to work on my YouTube outreach, but one of the ways I think I need to do that is I have to, how would I say, I have to um, uh, be better with my tags. By the way, this is a learning process. Learning process. Twitch. Oh, that's weird. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so Twitch is moving. Looking Twitch is moving, and LinkedIn is LinkedIn is moving. There we go. All right. So again, why am I doing the live stream? And you know, it's an interesting thing, but I'll just put it to you. And like I say, it's 9:21, so we're making good time. Um, I believe that the days of publishers promoting work is not that it's done. It's just that they can't do they can't do any better of a job really than you. Hello, Jonathan. So, back in the day, that brother, one of the better, more thorough journalists, who I also delivered my self-published copy of Manny's Rocket Too late because he didn't know I was hoarding copies because I had sold out. Because most people don't know that this particular book here that I printed, the first time I printed this thing was literally printed in my studio. I actually bought a printer and I was running the stuff off. I had to get it bound in Long Island. But that was a really very much a learning experience. And I was having to hoard copies because there were people who had old copies. But I finally got it to Jonathan. Sorry, man, it took me a while. But don't sell that, brother. That's a rare. There's only a few copies left in the world. Anyway, so I am doing this live programming because it's an experiment. The cavalry is not coming to our rescue. Yeah, sure. You get a book advance. That's part of how I make my living. You get a book advance. You do what you got to do, and you do that book. But your book sales are dependent upon three things. One, do people? Well, first, is your book good? And what's good these days? Who knows? Like I said, the most popular comic on planet Earth is either Diary of a Wimpy Kid or Dog Man. So it's all a matter of taste. Who knows, right? All you got to do is do the best you can do as an operator. So you want to try to make the best book you can. That's the first thing. Second thing, if no one knows about the book, they're not going to buy it. If no one knows about the book, they're not going to buy it. And then the third thing is, and here's the trick. Here's the trick. Because of all of the disruption that's going on in the direct sales market, and for you guys who don't know what the direct sales market is, this is a direct sales market. Well, this is not the greatest example. This is my floppy of Richard Corbin's Fever Dream. This book here is a classic. I love Richard Corbin. But that's a floppy. Why? Because it what? It flops, right? So what you need is to understand understand that if you are trying to ultimately survive this tumultuous situation that's going on, what you have to do is at least for me, the decision I've made is to go into graphic novels, right? Now, thus far, I only have a hardcover variant of Maddie's Rocket existing, but I will be hopefully releasing a a soft cover version of Maddie's Rocket in time for New York Comic Con, but we're working that out. So those three things. But here's the problem: if no one can get to your book, that's a problem. Now, some people obviously, who do books, they break through all that miasma, right? But for us regular human beings, right, who are trying to have my career right now is I have both mainstream book deals, but I also still an indie operator. Now I'm not like some of these guys. Right? I'm not Greg Anderson, BSA, or Jason Reeves. I can't table hop like that. I'm almost 59 years old. It's not that I'm too old for it. I think I do great when I'm at a table. I can sell toilet paper to feces. I can do it, but it's a lot. It's a lot of travel. When I was younger, I could have done it, but now I don't do it so much. I only pick specific conventions to showcase at. So I do San Diego Comic Con, do New York Comic Con. I did Schaumburg. We'll see what's happening with that. It was an interesting experience this year. But those are the three primaries, and I might do one or two others, but I really don't go out of my way to do it. I probably should do Dragon Con, but it's been a weird thing where I've never really had anything ready. But I might do it soon. Uh, um, uh, 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 Jarvis Sheffield has done a fantastic job with their diversity track there at Wolf Dragon Con. But anyway, I believe what one should do, and I'm going to end this because I've been kind of rambling here. Well, not rambling, just, people want to see me draw. But we're entering into the age of live social selling. Live social selling is where you are selling direct to consumer. Oh, thank you, Uncle Dad. Thank you. Oh, really? So, Uncle Dad, 1980, by the way, the most awesome user handle in the world. That soft cover version of Maddie's Rocket will be great because I have been sending comics to NGO in Tanzania. Weight matters for international shipment. I will keep that in mind. Also, if I want to say this, Uncle Dad, this is a weird thing. Y'all, you can obviously see I have no problem talking a lot. If a Zoom connection is available and stable, I have no problem with visiting with kids or even just anyone who'd be interested, groups over Zoom. It's something that I do, and obviously sometimes I do it for pay, sometimes I do it for free, but I do it just like I'm doing here. I am interfacing and interacting with the public because I believe, like, I haven't gotten my social selling stuff up yet. I have elements of it. Like, I have to buy a new heat press. That heat press is going to allow me to do t-shirts, Dieselfunk t-shirts, Dieselfunk totes, Dieselfunk hoodies, Dieselfunk coffee mugs, Dieselfunk caps. But I also will be able to do that with Graphic History Company because I think the Graphic History Company has a pretty dope logo. What do you guys think? I think it has a pretty dope logo. People like seeing that on shirts. But yes, so I will be doing that, and it is something that I believe will um, what you're doing literally is interfacing directly with the public, filling orders, that type of thing. So I believe that is the way. Where Rob Liefeld sold 500,000 copies of his book, or 500,000, made $500,000, all through live social selling. I believe that will become the norm. That's unfortunate. People who run comic book shops and things like that, because those folks are the lifeblood of the industry. But in certain ways, that sector of the industry, but for graphic novels and for independents like Kickstarter, I believe live social selling is not just the future, it's the present. You know, let's see. There is interest. There are many young people that would appreciate your and other insights in developing comic books and other media products. Well, again, I have no problem talking. So let me know. You know what I'm saying? So you can reach out to me. You can send me a DM, however you want to do it. I think it will be fun, a lot of fun to do that. Because why not? You know, I've done lecturing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Smithsonian, Tanzania is cool too. The brothers and sisters in Tanzania need a little diesel funk in their lives as well. All right. So let's see here. It's 9:30, so it's that's the thing. These are the things I'm thinking about doing. All right, now back to this. So here, so if we zoom out here, so we see we've got 4 pages. That's pretty good, right? And I could put them in folders, but for right now, I'm going to leave them open. All right, so I'm going to turn these 4 off. All right, I'm now going to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hold on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 5. I'm going to move this guy up here. There we go. And then I'm going to take this guy, and this is 6. I'll move him up there. Yeah. Yep. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. And here's where I was doing the breakdowns by line. This is before I added tones and everything. Now, this is an interesting comic, and interesting page layout here. I love Will Eisner. I love how that man took. They will love you for it. You know, I don't know. I saw that line in Gladiator. They would and they would love you for it. But just okay. Gladiator, I love Gladiator. So yes, just reach out, hook me up. I'm ready to do it. You know, and why not? It sounds like so much fun to be able to do. Let's see here. So we got these 4 done, right? All right, now we turn this guy here on. There we go. So while I'm working on this again, I let you guys know I stream 5 days weekly. I stream 5 days weekly. You might ask, why do you stream 5 days weekly, Tim? I stream 5 days weekly because the only way anybody's going to know about my books, plural, is they have to be told about them consistently, right? And right now we exist in a world that unless you're on Good Morning America or Today's Show, uh, it is don't even matter now because you can reach everybody on social media. That's virtually for free, right? So with that, that is a way I think we have to be realistic about how these things work. Okay. So now that's page. So that's page 1, 2. Even though I'm leaving this title page there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we go. I see what happened here. Oh, I see what happened. Did you say I missed that? Doggone it. But it's okay. We can fix it now. Now, this page here is actually a double page. So it's W.B. Du Bois. I forgot the title page. Here we go. All right, guys. All right. Let's go here to right. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on, man. Hang on, dude. We're gonna go right here. I think we'll take this one. This will work fine. All right. And hit enter. Now, what again? What you guys don't know is this was like a double page. So what's happened is that page operates as a double page. Okay? So you see the comet coming into the window. Let's zoom into this, right? So it's coming in, W.E.B. Du Bois. Then you see the comet. You see Earth interpreted by Tim Fielder. Probably be adapted by Tim Fielder, but that's what I'm doing, right? I'm kind of using that sepia tone flavor for it. All right, so I'm going to right click over this because, again, if you rasterize that, that becomes a rasterized, pixelized layer. We're going to go here, Command Shift I, backspace, whoops, Command Shift I, backspace. There we go. All right, so I'm going to drag this all the way down, baby. All the way down. Yeah. And we're going to go right here. We're going to say this would be page 3. Go click, double click here, and I'm going to change the name. 0, boom, backspace 3. Okay, so we have here, now of course I have to reformat this. So we're going to say it starts here, that's good. Then it goes there where it has I like that narration there, it's great. So it starts there with the story, and then it goes here, and what's supposed to happen is this one. Yeah, that was me screwing up there a little bit. All right, there we go. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So we got those 4 done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this should go here. All right. Whoops. That goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here. And I know there's that kind of little line on the side here, but all I'm going to do is rasterize that. I'm going to get rid of that side there because that's annoying. There we go. Command D for deselect. All right, so we got that. We're going to go here. Move that over there. Okay, there we go. And I'll go through this here. Oh, it's 9:37. Boy, the time really kind of blows past. Check here in the comment section. All right. We'll go to Tim Fielder just check and see what's happening here. See what's happening. Man, why is that not streaming? That seems kind of weird. But you know what? It's okay, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back. I thought this was streaming. Oh, it's streaming through my feed, but it's not streaming on the page. That's okay. I ain't going to worry about that. So then go here to Dieselfunk. Yep. Yeah, baby. And we're going to scroll down here, and here's where I'm streaming now. This guy right here. So I'm going to share, and I'm going to hit copy link. And now I will go back to, and I apologize for the folks who've been on the Tim Fielder page. I thought I had shared that. That's okay. We're ready to rock now. I'll post that. Okay. Alrighty. And we got one person checking it out. Hello, how you doing? Whoever you are, thank you so much for showing up. All right. Back to it. So we're going to go here. So we know we have these 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. Let me turn these off again here. Now I'm going to, just to do this here, I'm going to do this. Watch what I'm doing here. See this? It says P26, P27. So I'm going to do this. Now, if you want to group something together, just hit Command G, and that turns into a group, right? Double click this, Command V. Whoops. I'm going to call this Whoops. Command G. Click here. We're going to call it P01. Right, so that's page 1. Right? We go here. Same thing, Command G. And if I had selected more than one layer, hit Command G, it would take everything that's selected and drop it into its own folder. So that's good. And here, P02. Okay, so we got that. That's good. Command G. Here we're going to call this P03. And I'm just naming this here because it's helpful to be able to keep things in order. There's a lot of management stuff going on here. Whoops. Go right there. There we go. Whoops. Command G. P04. There we go. All right, so I'm going to turn 1 through 4 off. Go here. And G. P05. And by the way, is this helpful for you guys to be seeing the kind of, process you have to go through to do this type of work? I'm going to stop just for a second here because, it can get a little tedious doing this kind of daily grunt work. This is something that is important. It's important, but it has to be done. All right, so that's 4. That's 5. Let's see, this will be 6, 7, 8. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to turn these guys off. All right. So now I'm going to move this. Oops. Move this up here. There we go. Who liked Alien Earth yesterday? I like Alien Earth. I thought it was very, very well done. It was creepy, and I don't watch horror. I am not a horror guy. I be not a horror guy. I be not a horror dude, man. Oops. Go here. Yeah, I'm going to have to place the lettering on some of this stuff here. You'll see in just a moment. Oops. There we go. So you see what's happening here? So that's another 4 pages. And here, this goes up there. Then this goes down. Oops. Here. So let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hold on. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I have some pages that I've got to sort of generate here. All right, so we got that. So let's take this. Let's move in here a little bit. All right, so let's actually have a review, very quick review. So it starts with the comet coming in hot, right? And then here, he stood a moment on the steps of the bank watching the human river that swirled down Broadway. So here's a little bit abstract, not abstract, surreal, a bit of a non sequitur thing happening here. One has nothing to do with the other, which is part of the point. If you ever notice him saving a way that stung, you see that comet trail, right? Then you cut to this shot because I'm trying to build the drama. Boom. So notice here, close up, and like really extreme close-ups, but then here you pull the camera back, right? And what you want to show is that comet, what I'm showing is that comet is moving through deep space, right? We go here, then we can have our title sequence, the comet. Here, since everything is effectively pointing kind of in a diagonal, like so, So what's happening is you can see the comet is actually heading towards Earth, right? It's a cheat. It's a bit of a cheat, but that is what I'm doing. Right, then you cut to the shot, the city shot. And some of the stuff is going to be redone. But the motif, because the comet it takes place in 1920, so I want to tell parts of the story in sepia tone. I think having that old feel is the way to move. But the comet itself is green. Right? So we go here to comet. It opens up with that. Now, I could do this, or I could do this. I could say, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Page 5. Bits of the words of the walkers came to him, the comet. Right? So right now I have it as dialogue, but I think it might be good. Let's see, a whole thing. Let's go to view. Huh. That is interesting because now the dialogue in here is on a black. It's in the dark mode. So I need to figure out how to turn that into white mode. Here we go. Use dark backgrounds for note content. All right. Now, why did I do that? I did that because I don't want dark narration. I want light dark narration. So here's what we do here. I'm going to take this. I like that there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And again, why bother to redo? I am the leopard. Hello, I am the leopard. Let's go. I'm going to go here. Command Shift or Command Option. Command Shift 4, and that will create here a kind of, you guys can't see it's kind of a crosshair. So if I go here, watch this, watch what happens. That goes right there. So now that is dragged, and now I can do this. Whoa, that's kind of big there, right? I don't know if I like it to be that big, but so I could do it like that, right? That might work. For now, we'll leave it there, but I'll leave that as an option. So watch this. So what we're doing here, that element is meant for page 5. So I can open that folder and drag and drop that right there. See that? That's there. Bits of the words of the walkers came to him, the comment. Now, what I might do is just simply put this here. That might work, but we will see how I feel about it. As a matter of fact, let's leave it there for now. And I think also, just for the purpose of storytelling, I'm going to take this here. Oops. Go here. I'm just going to paint over this because I don't want that. Whoa, what's happening there? We're going to hit delete. All right, let's try it again. There we go. Oh, I see what's happening here. So that's a smart channel. So there we go. All right, so that sucks. But what I'm going to do is right click over this. I'm going to go to rasterize layer. Now let's see what happens. Oops. Huh, that is so weird. Why is that happening? Oh, hit X, dude. There we go. Sorry. Hey, man. I'm rusty. All right. So there we go. So in theory, I could have that top there, or I could put there. If I remove that, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that. So you have this wide shot of the orbit, low orbit of the Earth, and you see the comet, and then you go down to the panel before after that, and you see the comet as a green haze, little blob in the air. I am a Taylor. Hello, how you doing? Pleasure to see you this evening. All right, so we got that. So that's pretty good. Meaning, again, as we're telling the story, It's almost like what we're doing is being manipulative to the audience. We're trying to make them feel something through the pacing. And I could have just immediately jumped into the story and just showed the comet, bypassing the Earth. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to build tension, right? So that's why you have, I'll zoom out here a little bit. I'll take this here so you guys can see a little bit better. This is why you have, first you see the threat, this massive comet, right? And then you see the, you can see it, it's a little dark, a little green, and then it speeds by. So then that means it's moving really fast, right? And then you go here, you see the wide thing, you see the comet, and go, okay, wow, this thing is really moving through space really fast. And that's then when you go here, see? So the first 1, 2, 3, 4 pages tells you the story of the comet, and it reveals, hello, Ryan Drumgool. Hello. I hope I got your name right. Dope user handle. So what this is doing is it's building tension. It's suggesting to the audience there's an imminent approaching threat. That's the goal, right? And then when you go here, all right, so now you see the comet in front of the Earth, right? You're building that tension. So no comet is hit. Then here we go to the shot where, see, now you're kind of like moving into granular detail of the actual city, and this is where I can then uh, um, go to the dialogue. I don't want to change anything of this. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll change it, maybe not. Then we go here. So we see the president of the bank walking up. We see the main guy, Jim, the bank teller. Bank teller jobs don't exist anymore. They're basically like a cross between porters and messengers. They call them bank messengers. And there were some black bank messengers that were around at a certain period of time. Okay. So now we go here. So the bank messenger is telling Jim, the messenger, who I've kind of quasi modeled after Morgan Freeman. You can see here, I kind of a young Morgan Freeman. I think that guy just had such a look. So I did a little research on it, kind of the broad African features, but very much African American. But Morgan Freeman is what, 80 years old, something 80 something years old. By the way, I'm sure Morgan Freeman is not watching this tonight, but I really, really want Morgan Freeman to do the voiceover for my series adaptation, film or animation series adaptation of Infinitum. I think who better than God to do the narration for uh, for for Infinitum. Anyway, so I did a little research here. This guy's been around forever. That's also a homeboy, both from Mississippi. He don't know that. But what the heck? Alrighty. Also, I had done this for. I'll show this stuff here. These are rules here for how to, when you're utilizing AI, you have rules. Anyway, so we're gonna go back to this here. Okay, so we're good there. Everyone's talking of it. We see the president walking up with the assistant. They walk into the bank room, main room. For those who have lived in New York, I kind of modeled this bank interior, whoops, on Williamsburg Bank in Brooklyn. It's this bank tower. I used to see it all the time. I drew it in some of my comics. But this kind of very much old school, um, old school stained wood with tellers behind windows. And of course, the tech has changed so much then. So some of the stuff I'm going to redo. But, this is it. So he's basically telling the main character. You might ask, why are you telling the story, man? I believe that if you guys see me doing this book and you stick with me for the entire time, that in another year, when this book is about to come out, you will. It's like watching a Kickstarter in real time. instead of paying for the Kickstarter uh, once the book is finished, or you put your money in and you hope that the book will get done. That's a legitimate way of doing it. But the way I'm doing is I just need you guys just to watch. By the way, feedback. Oh my God, Tim, this is not clear. That shot there is not clear. Could you move this around? What do you think? And I'm open to all ideas. I know my daughter gets on me. Stop giving people that kind of power. This is your podcast. You should do what you want. And that's true. I do that. But my ego ain't what it used to be. If someone has a better idea, I'm gonna use it. Sorry. Anyway, so here he's telling the main character, look, I need you to go downstairs to this vault. And this vault is a 1920s era vault. So check it out. So he does that. Let's turn these guys off. Yeah, I will go through eventually and put these guys in. So here we go. So here's a page where I was really trying to experiment. So here is the interior of the stairwell. So he has to go through it. And you can see him here. I have to finish all this stuff up here. So he walks into the thing, and I have him walking down the stairs until he gets to the bottom of the stairwell. And he comes out through the door here. And this is where he's got a lamp, right? By the way, unlike, say, Infinitum, one of the things I'm doing with this particular book is I want it to feel painted with the light, but I'm not trying to have it overly rendered. I do want the line work to show. Not too heavy, but heavy enough. And then here is where he finds the big safe. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use that safe. I went to the Apple store a little bit the last few months, and I found I took pictures of the bank vault that they had there, but also I was able to go online and download or take photo captures of actual bank vaults, 3D bank vaults. And I did that because then I feel like, I could use it to be able to copy, paste, create images. These are the type of things that utilizing the technology that I'm using. It can kind of make things happen. All right. So anyway, so let's go back here. So he walks in, he sees the vault. Now, I'm changing this because there's actually a person he's supposed to meet in this area. There's a guard, if you will, who operates in this section. Here's where we're going to go. To Clip Studio Paint, baby. Oh, by the way, this is the image I did last week, Maddie's Rocket. I have made the decision. I think I've announced it, but I'll announce it again. I made the decision to do Maddie's Rocket, this one thing I have for Maddie's Rocket. I'm working on book 2 and 3, but also I have one sequence that I've storyboarded years ago, and it's about 70 storyboards, but I might add another 50 to it. But I want to do this as an animation. I think now's the time for 1 and 2 man animation shops out there to get their work done. Again, this is something that's built by me in 3D. I output it. I ran it through VizCom. VizCom upscaled and tightened up certain images of the 3D model that I built in 3ds Max. And then, of course, I do my paint overs. Again, I don't want my stuff to look completely like 3D. I want my stuff to look like my stuff, so that's where we go in and do a paint over. With that, and I will show this a little bit more as time goes on, but I have certain rules that I work with when I'm using AI, and perhaps this will be good, like Moses. Oh, there they are. I knew I had those things somewhere. So I actually took these by the Apple store on 70, maybe 79th Street and Park. And look at that paintball. Isn't that incredible? This is the Apple store, by the way. Of course, when when this paintball was actually in use, it was not a glowing blue object. but I just took photos of it because I thought the reference would be great. All right, enough of that. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. So I'm gonna go to Clip Studio Paint, but before I do that, I need to do a search here. I'm gonna go .clip. All right, now I am here in this particular folder here, the comment. And what I'm doing here is I am looking. I'm going to open this up here, and I'm going to try to find all of my crazy breakdowns that I did where I added stuff. And it wasn't a lot, but it was enough. Comment quad breakdown, comment one sheet. I don't think that's it. No, no, no. Hang on. Just let you know when I start moving to Photoshop to do my breakdowns. I was also doing them in Clip Studio Paint, but for right now, we will go through. Hold on. What's that? Nope. Nope. That not be it, man. That not be it. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for watching me tonight, for joining in. I appreciate it. Again, I do work in 3 formats. I work in streaming format where I stream 5 days a week. Seriously considering, I go between 7 and 9 at night, and I go for an hour or two. On a good night, I go 3 hours. I know it's a little late for some folks, but also some stuff I am considering strongly adding an AM session because I'm going to do the work anyway. It's not like I'm creating with this type of string work something new. This is actually my actual work. It's how, it's my work. And I think there's some value in showing people how I do my work. All right, so we're going to go here one more time here. Let's see, comment pages. Nope. If I don't find something here, I'm going to go back here. Okay, comment proposal. Oh, by the way, just so you guys can see, so this is one of the ways I was devising. So this is the main character. That's a sketch. I guess I did that in Photoshop. I refined the line out work, but I didn't particularly care for that, so I redid it. So this is the drawing I did, sketched it out, and then eventually came to this. I imported this into my software program. At the time, I was not using VizCom. I was using a program by a programmer named Vladimir Palacio. And he wrote this program for, at the time, I guess about 2 years ago, called Doodle AI. Just really was cutting edge at the time. And I used that as an image prompt. And it gave me back this. So this became that. And the reason why it follows the drawing so closely is because it's using a utility called edge detection. So it's detecting the edges, right? So not only did I use this as my first prompt, I never write a prompt. It's always, I might use a prompt in conjunction with my image prompt, but the thing that starts it off is always my drawing, never another person's drawing. That's the first thing. So that gave me back this. And then from there, I then composited the two together. See how my drawing here is composited with that output? I then took that, and then I did what's called a paint over. Right? Same thing that they do in the video game industry. Did the paint over, it worked pretty good. And the reason why I like that, because it kept things loose and my line artwork could show underneath. And then I added highlights. And that was it. And that's how I do it. Add a little sepia tone to it. We're ready to rock. That is one of the techniques that I've come. So those rules are, rule 1, never use another artist's name in your written prompts. Never must be done. Never, 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 never. You cannot violate that. It's like Superman and Marlon Brando. Don't do it. Bad, bad, bad. Right? and it's boring. Why I want my work to look like somebody else's work. Rule 2, always start with your physically illustrated images as image prompts. Always. It is the first thing. It is the alpha. Always use your drawings as your prompts, right? Do not use someone else's drawing because why you want to do that? It's boring. I don't want my work to look like somebody else. I want to look like my work. Rule 3, only use general photographic or 3D references presets in your prompts. Now, what does that mean? That means if I can use photos, right? You know, you might find photos on the web, not illustrations. I'm not interested in my work looking like another illustrator's work. I don't mind taking a photo, right, that I use on my cell phone or that I find an interesting sky on the internet. Because that's used all the time in game design. People are constantly using images for video textures or 3D model textures. That is something I can live with that. But what I'm not trying, like I'm not trying to take the work of Ansel Adams. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I don't want my skies to look like these guys. This guys. For example, if you look here at Maddie's Rocket, see that cloud? That's a pretty good looking cloud, right? That cloud is a cloud that actually was in the air in Virginia. I was driving in a van. I was bringing up um, all of the artwork up for the Black Metropolis show, and we were in the van. My dad and my brother, and we were riding up. All my artwork was piled in the back of the van, and I saw that sky, and I just took photos of it because I thought it was amazing. So that cloud structure there is a cloud that actually was in existence in Virginia. However, that rocket ship there, that's a 3D model that I built. I built that 3D model. This house on the back, see that house? See that house there? That house there is a 3D object that I built in 3ds Max. I took it into Unreal Engine and made it dark, and I added like the highlights on the light to make it look like lights coming out of there. That's what I did. So I'm using my own reference as much as I possibly can. So that's rule 3. Rule 4, you still have to draw. You still have to draw. What's the point of not drawing, man? What's the point? We spend so much our entire lives drawing. You still want to draw. I don't want anything to do drawing for me. What I wanted to do is to handle the drudgery of rendering. Oh my God. I don't want that. I don't want that. Now, some people can rock with that. Some people can not rock with that. Now, although I'm describing this technique on how I work, it's just one way I work. I work traditional way where I draw with, sketch it out. Same thing I showed you guys earlier. And I ink over that. And I apply flats, color flats, just like a regular comic. It's just one of the things I do, right? Sometimes I'll paint that straight. Like whenever I do my portraiture, it's always just me painting, always. I will never lose that skill. I will always utilize that skill in my artwork. But I have to be honest that I haven't painted on paper in years, drawn on paper in years. I draw on this huge 32-inch Cintiq here because I can't see what I have if it's too small, right? But I do it because that's how I work. I work digitally. I draw in Photoshop. I draw in Clip Studio Paint. Don't use Corel Painter nearly as much as I used to. On the iPad up here, right there, I have an iPad overhead. I do use Procreate to do sketches when I'm in the mobile setup. However, within the next few months, I will try to get a 16 or 17-inch tablet, maybe one from Huon, because or XP Pen. I've been using the XP Pen recently, and it's worked pretty nicely. So I might also do that. All right, hold on. Let me just check one thing. Okay. Okay. Oops. I'm going to refresh that. Okay, good. That stream is moving. That stream is moving. Yep. Okay. That's weird. That's interesting. I wouldn't gonna worry about it for now. All right. I think we're good for now. I think we're good. Let's refresh that. All right. Come on, baby. Do this for me. I was just trying to check and see if one of my streams is working out okay. Okay. Yes. We're good. All right. Instagram still rocking with me, guys. Again, thank you so much for viewing my show. Okay, Twitch seems to be good. I am offered some sort of weird thing. Okay, I don't know what that is. And then of course LinkedIn. That's great. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to it. Here. All right, we're going to go back to bridge, and I'm going to break that down. Okay, so we're good there. Okay, so I am not able to easily find all of those breakdowns that I did, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scroll through this slowly. I'm going to try to take 1 minute to locate a lot of this stuff here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's click on the comment. Let's see. No guarantees. Nope, that's not it. I was thinking maybe because the Clip Studio Paint has a story building feature that's actually quite powerful. Powerful. You can see here CMC is the format for it. So let's go here to comment SP. Oh, maybe this is it. I don't know. Oh no, that's Unreal. I will eventually get to that, and I'll go to that in the coming week or so. Same thing here. We can go back because what I ended up doing was I paid someone to build New York City 1920 for me in the computer because I do not want to be mucking around with all that modeling. I love modeling, but I don't love it that much. Okay. All right. I don't know what this is, but what I'm going to do here, I'm going to double click here. What? Something's happening. Here we go. Woof. Nice. Now, I don't know if this is going to absolutely work, but I'm going to double click here. You guys will see. So you see how I'm laying this out? I could do it. I could lay my story out in this, but if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I have 26 of those pages already broken down. Let me, I'm going to close this one here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go here. There we go. And I'm going to increase the size on that. So you can see the breakdowns here. Now, I'll see if I'm going to use the logo here, but you can see what I'm saying. It's so weird to see it like this because where's that doggone thing, right? So we go here. Dieselfunk Studios presents W.B. Du Bois, the comment. And you can see here it says everything is changed and adapted by Tim Fielder. But what I'm using here is a quad setup. And I use a quad setup because I find if I do breakdowns in fours, for me psychologically, I can see the story that's happening and be able to build a rhythm on it. In this case here, so page 1 here, just as I showed you guys before, page 1, page 2, where the comments moving around. I was using lettering. You might ask, well, okay, why is that lettering look like that? It's because there was a specific lettering, Du Bois lettering type font that was made, and I might use it, but I don't know if I'm going to use it uh, as the narration because there's something about it that I find a little bit cold, but it would be fantastic for titles. So I'll see. But anyway, so here's everything here. This is what's happening. Right, so That's page 1, page 2, page 3, the comment, intro to the city. This is, Wall Street doing its thing. All right, so you see what's happening here? He's coming into the bank with the president. The president tells him to go down to the different sector. And you remember all that stuff I was saying to you guys, how the main character has to walk down a flight of stairs. So that's what I'm doing here. See? I'm using the architecture to tell the story, right? So here he is. He comes up to the bank vault. But here's the catch. This is kind of sort of the last thing I show. Then we go here. When he comes up to it, he has to turn the head of the thing to get into the thing. You cut to the inside of it, and then all of a sudden the light breaks through. And that's because he's opened the safe. And he holds up his light here, see it? And he's looking kind of like this, and then he's shocked because there's this rat that runs across his foot. But then you cut to a shot where he's walking past these pylons of files, and he finds the box he's looking for, the thing to go through. And then as he's about to walk away, he notices something. He decides, you know what, let me turn around and see what's going on. He sees something, and it ends up being the small room in the back, right? You see, so the breakdowns I had before, as you can see here, they're not as tight. Well, they were done earlier. I was like, man, I'm showing these people stuff, but something's missing. It's like, yeah, idiot, you actually did these breakdowns, right? But here's where you can see the overhead shot where he's kind of looking and saying, what is this? At the end of this, in the small room, is this case, right? What in the world is going on there? And he walks over to the case and he opens it. When he opens this, it's kind of a slight light. I don't want to go completely Tarantino on it, but it's filled with gold. So you'll notice here in the shot, he's like this. He's looking. He looks over his shoulder because this is a black man in the 1920s. Now you might say, why would I put that in there? Because that's what Du Bois wrote. So I'm going to put the narration in here to fill it out. But here's the thing, though. When he's looking over his shoulder, he's doing it because a particle of dirt has fallen onto the ceiling. So he looks up and the entire roof and ceiling collapses in because you don't know exactly what's happening, but the comet is passing by at that time. Hello, JPM Oliver, 3 p.m. Oliver, I guess. How you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. So then the roof collapses, and I have to do the shot. You got to get the dramatic shot with dudes like that. It's covering his face. And it covers him, but he kind of uncovers himself, right? From all the debris that collapsed in the roof. So here he gets up, but notice the camera's moving in. So he's going to, and he kind of looks up, right? Like so, because he's still trying to, it's dark. And he makes his way back to the gate. Now, one thing I should add, I have to add it here. Here, outside of the safe, there is a guy who's sitting there at the safe. I have to put him in there at a desk, right? These are the type of things that it's good when you take a break. Well, it's bad when you take a break that's because you almost die, but breaks sometimes are very useful, right? So we go here, and he goes back to that gate that he initially got in, but no one comes to answer the door. So you might say, well, right here, it looks like he's grabbing an air. It's because I drew the background once. He bangs against that gate, and he eventually breaks through the gate, right? And when he does it, he looks up and he sees the guard who was at the desk by the vault door dead, right? And here he faints. See, and it goes to black. See? He sees it. He's shocked. He faints. Fade to black, right? Again, tension. Tension is so important, but it's also patterns, rhythm. These are the type of things I'm doing. So watch, eyes closed. half open, open. Then of course he wakes up and he's shocked because the dead body's there. You know, you can almost say it was a dream to him. But he starts running. Now check it out. Here's where we get to this part. Remember the sequence here where he's walking down the stairs? This time we go in the reverse. So he's running back up the stairs. So I have to make sure the lettering kind of reads in reverse, right? So he's running back up the stairs. And then when he gets to the top part of it, if I'm not mistaken, yes, here he kind of pushes through the door, and he pushes through the door. He sees a guy kind of dead. Right? He sees the guy dead in the chair, and of course he's shocked. See how my storyboards can get loose? Sometimes they're tight, sometimes they're loose. Now, you might ask, well, Tim, what is this shot we're looking at here? This shot is the mirror image of this shot here. But what's happening, everybody that's in this shot is now dead in this shot. But he's looking like, oh my God, what in the world is going on? Now, I have to do, you can see here, I actually started on storyboards. I'll move here a little bit. Oh, I can't zoom in there. That's because, if I double click here, I can probably zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yep. Okay, so what happens is he goes into the president's office, and the president is obviously dead. This is where we run into the sequences here. I'll go back to Photoshop here, where he runs into these sequences. So all that stuff you guys are seeing happens there. So he goes into the office, he sees the president there. I have to do maybe 2 pages of that, and then I can map that in. That's one of the things that's going on here. Now, here's the trick. I could either import the images in to Photoshop, or I could import the images in from Clip Studio Paint. But right now, I'll leave it open. I think we're good. Any feedback you guys might have, like, wow, okay, he's telling that story. I mean, this is a short story, but what can I say, guys? W.B. Du Bois he was a creepy dude, man. He's a creepy dude. Right. By the way, this is the entire layout. I think it goes up to 83 pages, but I don't think it can go more. I'll have to add that. But yeah, so I've done a massive amount of work on this. But you know what? I think, all right, let's not be an idiot. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab, here's what we're going to do. Watch this, guys. So I'm going here. So I want to see this image here. Right? I am going to, this is that page, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. All right, hang on here. Now you might ask, why am I doing something with that? I'll show you what I mean just a moment. I got the stairs, I want the stairs. And that's, when I'm doing it, my file organization on here is not the best. But that's okay. So I'm going to scroll all the way up here. All right, so there's the characters, right? But on the character, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to enlarge this guy. Now, when I end up drawing him, I'm going to make him a little bit bigger on that vault. Right? The vault, when I first drew it, I actually downloaded that vault from the web. It's kind of a flat 2D schematic of a vault. But what I'm going to do here, this will be what that'll do. So he'll be there. But next to him will be a guy at a desk. And that desk will be right here. And there'll be someone sitting at the desk. Right? his feet here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because Du Bois has in this section, I even put their hat on there so you can see that he's a bank person. So that's what's happening there. Okay, so and I might end up shifting all this stuff over, but this is what we have here. Let me increase this point size here just a little bit. I don't know if Stephen Berry is here tonight. Maybe he will be, maybe not. Again, I want to thank you guys. It's 10:25. I'll just go for a few more minutes. I know I'm running late, but that's the way my life is now. I can't complain. I am so blessed to be doing what I do. I am truly blessed to be doing what I do. Um, I don't, I'm just blessed to be doing it. That's all I gotta say about that. All right, boom. Okay, now his foot, shoe here, so you can see the guy sitting there. All right, then we'll take that part there. All right, now just put his other foot there. A large thing to do with these kind of sketch elements is that I can kind of work stuff out. Yeah, that's a part of that. That's pretty good there. So I'll erase here. All right, so that's pretty good. All right, so he's there. Put his other foot or leg of the chair. I'll put this part here. And just like at the Apple store, I'll put this kind of thing in. Right? Yep, I like that. And then I can take this right here. And again, I'm just sketching this out now that I've had some time away from it. So that is pretty good. Pretty good. But there's a page that is missing. I don't know why. Oh, see, that's the tone for that. It's amazing how this stuff works. The technology is so powerful. Powerful, man. Powerful. All right, let's zoom out here. So there's a page that's missing here. It's the one where he walks up and they're walking into the bank. Here's where I have to turn that back on. Figure out where that page is. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And that comes before. Okay. Stairs. Okay, that comes before. So in theory, nope. Nope. Almost. Now, this is the dialogue that I had set up there, but the narration, I find Clip Studio to be a little bit cumbersome when it comes to uh, breakdowns. Oh, that's what happened. I see what's happening here now. I know why this is acting up. It's because there's a page that's supposed to go in between these things here. But I'm going to actually sketch this out. So I'll show you what I mean. So in between this page, when he walks down the stairs and he comes out, when he comes out of that vault, there's somebody waiting for him, this guy in the chair. I had a section here where the guy interacts with him in the chair. Right? So I'll sketch this out here. In fact, I'll go back to the script. So this is where the president is talking to him. The messenger passed silently down the stairs. Down he went beneath Broadway, where the dim light filtered through 54, through the feet of hurrying men. Right? Down to the dark basement beneath, down into the blackness and silence beneath that lowest cavern. Here, with his dark lantern, he groped in the bowels of the earth under the world. Right? So it's a dark room with the thing. He drew us, and he well, hold on. Oh, I think I might be okay. I may have missed something. This is good. This is good. This is great. Man, that saved so much trouble. I got the sequence out of line there, so that's okay. So there is not the guy waiting here in the desk. There's that guy's at top, and I actually have that kind of mapped out. We're gonna go here, double click here. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, let's go back here to that. Nope. Nope. All right, I'm gonna go down here. Okay. Scroll down a little bit there. There we go. So I'm going to erase this guy here. Even though I love that drawing, I don't think that drawing needs to be there anymore. This is where he's at the bottom of the vault. Okay, good. So I think this works. So what I'm going to do here, check it out. I'm going to close this. When I close it, it's going to ask me to save it, which I have saved. So these are all of my pages kind of broken down. The only thing I don't have here is stuff with the president of the vault, but that's okay. And even this last two pages here, I might need to, at least one of them, I might have to reform. But to move the story forward, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do export multiple pages. And I'm going to do a batch export. I'm going to export all these as JPEGs. And I only want to go to page 13, right? Because I'm not trying to export everything here. This is good. I'm going to change the folder because I don't want it to go to Black Prince. I want it to go to the comment. Les comment. All right. Split spread pages. I don't know if that's going to work. But what I will do is turn that off. I think we're good there. All right, we're going to hit OK. You ready? There we go. So now that file is exported. Exporting page 2 of 13. Now there's more than 13 pages here because there are 4 pages of breakdown per page. Four pages of breakdowns per page. So that's what that is. But the cool thing is we got that. So now we're going to go back to Photoshop. Here's the moment of truth. We're going to go here, page 26. Again, this is page 13, regular 13. Now, I might move some stuff around here since I know I have all my pages. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. This is kind of sort of where things go different. So I'm going to select here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Photoshop. All right, hang on. Lead comment. All right, here's where it gets interesting. So I'm scrolling up here, and all those pages should be output. Let's see here. Man, there's some pages in that work I did with Ahmed that I definitely got to use those images. They really do make a difference. Huh, it's so weird. I can't find them here. Let's go. Dot JPEG. Dot JPEG. Let's go here. Might not work, but we'll see. G. Okay, so now what I'm doing is looking at the JPEGs here and seeing if I can find those pages that were output. I would say no. What I think is happening is maybe those pages were output to another folder. Let's go here. I'm going to go here again, export multiple pages, batch export. We just need to figure out, okay. I think I got something here that is happening. Something is happening. It's 10:34, so I'm going to get ready to shut it down in a minute. And then Momante, man. Momante. All right. I'm going to go here to archive. Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Let's go again. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about that. But what I will do is I will go to the batch thing here again. Export. Whoops. I'm going to select Clip Studio Paint. I'm going to export here. This stuff can be a bit of a not a chore, but it can be a bit of an interesting thing. Archive documents. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to choose the comment. Go here, late comment. Let's type that in. Comment. There we go. Okay, I think that'll be okay. We will see. And hit okay. Okay, it said so it's going to be overwriting that file. That's okay. So what I want to do here now, here, let's see if we can find it. You know what? That didn't work. By the way, I have 36 terabytes of storage. I have so much storage. The reason why I do that because I need to back my work up. I need to be more diligent with that. But I went out and got a lot of storage. Some storage, half of that storage is used for all the film work that me and my twin brother Jim have done, and the other half is used for my work. So we will figure that out, man. Figure it out. All right, we're gonna go like this. I don't know. Let's go back here and try to one more time look at where the stuff is being output to. Okay. All right, we got it. All right, now let's do a search here. See if we can find that stuffus, man. Oh, there we go. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag and drop this into Bridge. And now, what that should do is allow me to hunt where that is. So that should be, all right, is that it? All right, here it is. So these are those pages right down there. I'm sorry it took a second to find it. But, okay. Right, we will scroll up. And we will find those pages. Okay, so here they are. These are those pages, but they were a lot of them that were output. That's okay. We only need the ones we need. So I'm going to go here through here. I kind of like that. Well, actually, let's do this here through here. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to drag and drop that into Photoshop. Into the Photoshop. Ah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sorry, what I'm doing now is hitting the button that's allowing everything to be imported. So there we go. So we have all these files here imported. All of these pages. Some of them are pages that have already been in the file, but some of them are things that kind of like need to be moved around. Now, here's the catch. All these pages that I've imported in are protected. They're like smart objects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the way up to here, and I'm going to right click over that, and I'm going to go rasterize layers. Now what this does, it allows you to take a group selection of layers, and it pixelizes or rasterize, turns everything into a raster image. And that's something that I find that's very useful as well. And some of it may work, some of it may not. Rasterize layer, rasterize layer. Missing a few things here, but I can, like I said, I can rasterize it. I can rasterize that sucker, man. Rasterize, rasterize. Okay, rasterize again. I think we'll rasterize that one as well. Okay, we got maybe another. Let me try here. Let me see what happens. Let me see what happens. Go here. Let's see if this works. Right click. Rasterize. Okay, it worked. Okay, good. So we got that in place. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting. So this is good. So we remember these guys here where he's walking in to the space. This one here, I'm going to delete that. As much as I love it, I'm going to delete it because I already got that in the breakdown. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to go here. And this one here, I kind of like that as is. But I think there's something about it I like. But right now, we're turning off. Oh boy. So I know that was a sneeze. I'm going to yawn because I'm getting sleepy. All right, this is good. This is good. I like this because it has more drawings on it. So I'm going to take this here. All right, there we go. Keep in mind, we got our frames there. And now I'm going to do this. Select, generate a bounding box around that, and hit Command-Shift-J. So there's a file there. Then we're going to do it again here, but this one is where he's walking down the stairwell. That's already in the file, but I need to, I like the idea of the body here. Command-Shift-J. Okay, that's 2. And this one here, I'll do the same thing. There we go. Command-Shift-J. Okay, so we got those 3 pages done. I'm going to hit delete on this one. Now, watch this. Don't know what that is for right now. But what I'm going to do here is let me hit Command-T so I can make sure I'm not deleting anything that's important, which I'm not. Hit delete. Okay. So last we looked, we had this layer here. Okay, that's good. Then we had that one. That's good. Walking into the room. That's good. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So it's here. See that? It's where walks into the room, but he's talking to the president of the company. That's where that one comes in. So I'm going to come here, hit Command-T for transform. I'm going to lay that right there. So we know that's the next page. That's the next page. And our earlier images at the bottom of our layer stack, moving up to the top. That's our higher stack. Okay, so we got that. So here he's walking in, da 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 da. Now, I'm going to turn these 2 pages off because they are the bottom of this page. So I'm going to go here. Now, I'm going to take this image. This is where he is on the stairwell, and then he comes down to the vault. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select both of these images at the same time. Hit Command-T. Just move it a little bit in place there. Now what I can do is kind of shift it so this stuff kind of sort of fits in there. Right. Now, the stairwell image goes here, right? And the image where he's at the bottom and he comes into the vault goes there. Let me reduce it down a little bit more so I can fit in there. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Alrighty. Alright, this is the reverse again when he first goes down the stairwell. Alright. I'm getting a little tired, but I'm feeling like I need to keep going. I don't need that one anymore, so I can delete that. Now, the lettering on it needs to be redone on this, and some of these images will be redone. I don't want to get overly precious with this stuff, but I do see the need to redo it. Okay, so I'm going to delete these because why not? All right, good. So again, bam, bam, bam. Right. Okay, good. So we're in good shape here. So now, walking down the stairs, coming out of the room into the vault. Here's where it gets interesting. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to go here, hit Command T. I'm going to drop these guys down here as best I can. By the way, I'm using my wheel mouse to scroll up and down on this. It's a very useful tool to be able to do. Okay, that's pretty good. See, that's close. Let's move this up a little bit here. Right about there is good. All right, so check out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say Command Shift J. So there are the two bottom pages of this. And here, because I can, I'm also going to do this. I'll call that Command Shift J. I'm going to delete this one. Now watch what I'm about to do here. So I'm going to turn. So he comes into the vault room. But what he sees here, this is where he walks up to the vault and he kind of tries to twist it. He tries to twist it open. Let me make sure. Yes. Yep. Yep. So now we're going to go down here. All right, Command T. Making it somewhat the same size. Still things need to be kind of like shifted a little bit. All right. Shift J. Alrighty. So this here, hold on, goes right there. See? It comes to the, let me turn this on here, move this in place. Oops. Wow, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the sequence. He walks down the stairs. All that narration that W.B. Du Bois wrote. He goes there. And then here, his light is up and he sees the big cavern and he grabs it. And then it cuts to a shot of him struggling with the handle. You know how I draw this stuff. And then as he gets it, you cut the black and then you see a little small crack. See? Here he looks inside of the vault and looks down and he sees a rat. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So you see what I'm saying? So now that is there. That's not bad. Right? So we're going to turn these off. And now we're going to go to our next group. These guys. These guys here, man. These guys. We'll go here. And I'm going to go right here. Command Shift J. Okay, so what that's done here is this is taken this page, which goes here. And some of the stuff, you know, it's a little bit tight, but I don't mind extending out borders because, you know, if you allow the page room to breathe, the image a chance to breathe. It's not the worst thing in the world. Money be there. All right. We got that. Oh boy. Now it's starting to hit me. Okay. All right, let's bring this down in size here. And again, even though I'm getting a little sleepy, I will be back at it again tomorrow. Again, I don't, I'm trying my best to be, to honor what I say I'm going to do. Only thing I cannot promise you guys that I'm going to be like going on at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. sharp. I try to go on between 7 and 9. I'm sorry, that's anything else because stuff comes up, man. I got kids, young, they're not kids, they're adults, but still got to keep your eye on them because I have this problem of loving them. Sorry, guys. Wait, let's see here. So we go here. Let's see. Boom. Yep. Now I'm going to select half of the. No, we'll select the top. Command Shift J. There we go. Wow, look at that. All right, that comes after this. So now, go here. I'm going to select the half here. Yep. Command Shift J. Okay. Think maybe this works. We will see. All right. So he breaks into the thing. He walks there. He finds a room. Right? He looks in the case. Okay, this is not what that's supposed to be. He finds the case here. No, I'm missing a page. I am missing a page. I can see it. I can see it. I can feel it. Missing a page. Let's go here. Let's go here. There it is. Right there. Missing this dadgum page. This dadgum page. Yep. Oh boy. Okay, guys. I'm so sleepy. I'm gonna get to this. Hey, this is good though. This is a good thing. I'm actually working and being a little sleepy here. Anyway, start my landing sequence. My name is Tim Fielder. I am a visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist working on the Comet, working on the Graphic History of Hip Hop Volume 2, working on Black Prince from University of Georgia Press. Writing partners, Dr. Walter Grayson. Writing partner, Dr. Stephen Berry, both endowed Chaz. I am Tim Fielder. Leo McGovern will be doing a lot of my lettering, just in case I haven't mentioned Leo a lot. Good man. New Orleans-based Crescent City Comics. Please stop by there. Do your comic book shopping in New Orleans there. Also, buy my books. Graphic History of Hip Hop Volume 1 is out from the Graphic History Company. You can find it where all fine books are sold. Maddie's Rocket Volume 1. Go to Amazon. Same thing. Infinitum, an Afrofuturist tale from HarperCollins Amistad. You can buy it through Amazon, but you can also buy it for a little bit cheaper on the HarperCollins website. Thank you guys so much. I will see you either tomorrow night and possibly in the morning. Stay out of trouble. Love one another. Do what you got to do. Be at peace with one another. Let's treat each other with love. All those kinds of things. You know the drill. Hit like. Subscribe. Peace.